Welcome back everybody to linuxacademy.com. My name is Terry, and in today's course we continue with Docker Quick Start. So welcome everybody to Docker Quick Start course, and you're going to learn just exactly what you need to know to get started with Docker. But before we do that, I wanted to be sure that you guys know how to get everything that you possibly can out of your Linux Academy subscription. And for those of you who here are viewing the Docker Quick Start course as part of our new free subscription where you get limited access to certain topics on Linux Academy, then I encourage you to take a look at this video to see all the cool things that everybody else here at Linux Academy gets access to, in addition to the quick starts that you guys are currently viewing. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So when you sign in on Linux Academy, more than likely you're going to end up here at the dashboard. And the dashboard is kind of the jumping off point for all the features that you'll find here at Linux Academy. It'll tell you what courses you're working on, what bookmarks you've had, what other recommendations based upon courses once you start taking them that we might recommend. So for example, my current user, Terry, has a recommendation of the Linux Academy Red Hat Certified Engineer Prep course or the Certified System Administrator course. I don't have anything bookmarked, but I've started a number of different courses. Obviously, as an instructor, I have a different account that I manage for administration. However, in this case, it's telling me the courses that this individual account has taken. So my dashboard is kind of where I jump off, but where I want to look at is I may want to look at my profile. And my profile is how I tell Linux Academy about myself. It not only gives me the opportunity to post a nice looking picture of myself if I choose, but it gives me a chance to see what my reputation in the community is, how many responses that I have in my community, which is a really important part of your experience here at Linux Academy. I also have the ability to manage my note cards, look at my cloud credentials, courses that I've taken and credentials I've received here at Linux Academy, and if I have any professional certifications, I can add them here to my profile. So let's take a look at a couple of the things outside of the profile, and I think one of the more important things that we'll find is our community. We have a vast array of topics and people that participate in our community forums every day, including, very uniquely, you have access to a litany of course instructors who participate in this community on a every single day basis. We're constantly answering questions, interacting with our students. We love our community. You guys are the reason that we're able to do the job that we do. So part of giving back to that, other than how we provide the teaching materials that we do, is participating with you in the community. So be sure, especially as you complete courses, that you share your successes, that you share your experiences, and answer questions. As you answer questions, some of those may be upvoted by other students, and you will build reputation. And reputation is tracked on a leaderboard, and on occasion, we will provide weekly or monthly prizes to some of the highest weekly reputation community members for our forums. One of the ways that you can stay up to date with Linux Academy is you can click on this latest updates here, which will take you to our blog site. Now our blog site, in addition to most of the posts that will be done at least once a week by one of the course instructors talking about a course or a particular topic, we also post our announcements on here, new course content, as well as linking to our video blogs where we talk about not only courses but other content that we're working on at Linux Academy. You'll also get a listing of the weekly roundup, which is just basically all of the student successes we have at Linux Academy. So for example, on this weekly roundup here, we've got a number of Linux Academy students that are sharing their success stories. And those can be jobs that they've gained, those can be certifications that they've passed, in addition to any experiences that they've posted in the community. And here you'll see this exciting list of announcements for celebrating these students' successes, whether they passed an AWS exam or a Linux exam, or they obtained a new job. We'll share your successes with the rest of the community, plus it also really helps you develop that professional network that you'll need as you continue to update your skills. Now back over here, one of the things that we mentioned is we mentioned note cards. And note cards are a course-by-course way of studying the material that's been presented within those courses. So for example, if I went to the Get Quick Start course, I could create my own note card, but where I'm going to get a lot of value is in Shared Decks. Shared decks are both from the instructor or our community, where we have the ability to share those notes that we've created. It's both gives us the ability to both share our experience as well as those things that we found useful that we may want to review in the course. You can view any of the decks simply by clicking on them, and they're very intuitive in that how do you initialize, for example, a Git folder we're in. You point at it and go to Get Init. If you want to study the deck, it'll present them to you one at a time in an environment where you can answer the question and study that particular topic, just like that. We got it memorized, and we'll move on, and we'll get the next note in the course. We can also fork those, meaning if we decide we like note cards from a particular place, we can take what we like, and then we can continue on it by creating our own deck. And this is also a really good way for you to get reputation in the community. If you create a note deck and then share it, you'll gain reputation points in the community. One of the other things to look at is labs. So if you're at Linux Academy, whether you're going through a course, most of our courses will have labs associated with them. However, a number of courses may not have labs associated directly with them, but they'll have topics that are similar in nature to that particular one, particularly in the Quick Start courses where they're intended to be bitten off in smaller 2-hour or under chunks. However, you'll still find, for example, if you're taking a DevOps or a Linux Quick Start course, you'll find topics in each of these labs that will do what you want, or goes over the same information or similar information. So for example, one of the things that I can do if I wanted to look at how to configure an iSCSI target and initiator, and I click on this lab, there are two things that you'll find. You'll find a screen that describes the lab that is going to take place, the servers that you can expect. But you get two different things. You not only, when you click the Start Lab, you'll get access to videos that'll tell you exactly how to do those things. You'll also get access to a downloadable lab guide. And this lab guide is a step-by-step recreation of what you find in the video, and it tells you exactly how to perform all the steps to do everything that you see in the video to successfully complete that particular topic. So whether you want to follow along on your own or whether you want to follow along a video, you get an environment that's built for you to do just that. One of the biggest things that you get with your Linux Academy subscription, and for those of you who may be here on the free or trial account, remember, for those accounts, you'll only have access to a single lab server for the duration of your account, whether it's free or trial. For subscribers, you not only get access to the Quick Start courses, but all the other content, all the other lab servers, and 6 lab servers that you can use using any one of the distributions that you have here. So for example, let's go ahead and start a CentOS 7 distribution right here. So we're going to create an actual virtual machine that I'm going to remotely log into that I can use to follow along any of the courses. And you can pick any distribution that meets the requirements of the course that you happen to be viewing. So let's go ahead and let this start up, and then what I'm going to do is I'll show you how we can change the password to make sure that this is secure and waiting for you. So once you have an IP address, you'll see you have a public IP address and you have a private IP address. The public IP address is where you're going to connect to. Most of the time, depending on your local DNS server, you'll be able to get to that by the public host name, in this case, morngrim19691.mylabserver.com. But you can always get to it by the public IP address, which is listed here. The private IP address can be used internally if you're testing things that are not intended to go outside the internet. And for security reasons, there's only a couple of different ports that we allow outside. Ports 22 for SSH, port 80 for HTTP, port 443 for HTTPS, and port 5901, which is for VNC, or remote desktop, when you connect to a GUI. So in this case, we've got a CentOS 7 distribution started, and we're going to go ahead and copy this particular IP, and we're going to log in, if you note, as the default server user. Now you can't log in as root because for security reasons we have to use a very insecure password for root initially. As you can see, root password 123456. Wouldn't take very long for anybody to hack that. So we're going to take that IP address and we're going to go ahead in a terminal and connect to that particular IP. So let's paste that in here. When we connect as the user account, we're going to put in the initial password of 123456. And the first thing that we recommend that you do is enter the password command. This will ask you for your current password, and it'll give you an opportunity to change the password to something more secure. Now, it does have to be at least 8 characters in length, and it can't be simple like password, for example. So once we've created the new password for this account, now what we want to do is we want to SU to the root user. Now, although we can't log in as that user, we can become the root user with the initial default password of 123456. And you'll see we work a little bit of magic after we confirm that password, is we make sure that you change your root password. You can't log in as root, and you can't become root until you change the password the first time. So be sure that we create a complex password that matches the same, because you'll have to be entering the password twice. If it doesn't match, it will tell you that it doesn't match, just like here. And now our root password and our user passwords are secure. That doesn't mean that you can log in as root, for example, but your password is secure from the default 123456. So again, as we said, if you're a full Linux Academy subscriber, you have access to all 6 of the lab servers running any of the distributions that are listed here. Ubuntu 12 or 14 LTS, Debian 7, Ubuntu set up as a Chef server, a Chef Enterprise server, Red Hat, OpenSUSE, CentOS 6, etc., etc. We continually update our lab servers to make sure that they have all the security patches that they'll need. So we'll go ahead and close this. And I think finally the last thing I want to talk to you about is I want to talk about learning plans and learning paths. A learning path is something that we've developed that helps you become something. For example, if you want to become a cloud developer, a Red Hat OpenStack administrator, or one of those items, you simply can go into here, click View Path, and it'll tell you the different courses that we recommend you take on your path to becoming that thing. So in this case, we're saying that an OpenStack System Administrator Senior level should probably take the Linux Foundation Certified System Administrator course, followed by the System Engineer course, then OpenStack Essentials, Associate Certification, Certified OpenStack Administrator, so on and so forth. And on any of those courses, if you want to go to them, not only do you have immediate access with a full Linux Academy subscription, you have the ability to create a course schedule. In this course schedule, you determine how much time you have to dedicate to each individual course, and it'll prompt you for that information. So, for example, we're saying we're going to start this course on the 21st of December of this year. We can say, here are the hours that I have available to work on this particular course on each of these days, and it will tell us how long it's going to take us to complete the course based upon the content. It'll give us an entire course time of 30 hours and 57 minutes, and it tells us each day this is what we have to accomplish. And more impressively, not only does it say read these or watch these videos, do these exercises, complete these labs, but it'll also set up email reminders on a daily basis where we can turn on, hey, every morning I want you to remind me of the things that I have to do for that particular day. And finally, once we complete that, if we fall behind in our course schedule, then it will reschedule this for us so that it can help us catch up. We've got a couple of different schedules here. And again, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the community. Make sure that if you are participating in the community, that you share your experience. One other item is if you happen to be taking courses, you can also create what's called a community study group. And a study group is designed so that you have other people that would be taking that particular course, and you guys are going to share your experiences, or you're going to share what you're getting out of this particular course, for example. So we can create a study group, we can create a course schedule, and we have learning paths. So make sure you take all of these things into account as you continue through your Linux Academy subscription. For those of you who are on the free or trial accounts, these are all the things you get in addition to what you get for your free account, the quick start courses, the individual lab. You'll get all of the lab servers that we talked about, the community, which you get right now, but note cards and downloads and all those things that you might be missing out on. So really that wraps up everything that you get as part of your Linux Academy subscription. And again, I encourage those of you who are on the more limited free subscription to go ahead and upgrade at any point in time, and you get access to all the cool stuff that you saw here. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to dive in and get started with our Docker Quick Start.